right, so we're gonna continue the conversation. I feel like I need to be in the middle of y'all, but we just gonna go like this. No, no, we don't. So I'm going to address some of the same questions that Miranda asked. As mentioned, we want to get to know who you are outside of what you all have shared and what you all have been up to. So starting off, because I know Miss Robinson, you are on the time frame. We're gonna get through this as fast as we can, but we want to know what's your zodiac sign.
Scorpio.
Another Scorpio in the house. All right, Mr. Walker. Pisces, a Pisces gang. I'm a Pisces Aries, and it's Pisces seasons, by the way. Well, you know that because you're a Pisces. We highly intuitive. Anyway, now, where did you grow up?
I grew up on the south side of Chicago in Roseland.
Roseland in the house. All right.
South side of Chicago.
Chatham. All right. Now, what high school did you attend, Miss Robinson?
PLJ, Percival Julian.
Julian in the house. We got some alumni in the building. Mr. Walker.
Lindblom.
Lindblom.
Hey! Here you go. So wait.
You know what? That's what they say about us Pisces too. We fly solo as eagles. We don't flock with other people, but that's just how we go. But anyway, I'm not gonna ask this question about did you graduate because clearly you did. With that, how long have you been? Well, you all kind of shared that a little bit, but how long have you been doing what you've been doing?
I've been practicing law for over 27 years.
27 years, and you look good, baby. How about yourself?
I've been an associate judge for 11 years.
11 years, okay. Well, I also see rings on both of you all's fingers, so that kind of answers the next question in regards to if you're married or in a committed relationship. So, how long, I'm gonna flip it, how long have you been married?
I've been married for 24 years in January, and I am committed to my husband.
All right.
I've been married for 40 years.
40 years.
And I'm definitely committed to my wife.
All right, so for the millennials and Generational Z, you all have to give us some tips on how to stay married. So I'm gonna ask you, since you've been married longer for 40 years. I had to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, that's
a loaded question.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, and it's different for everybody. Right?
Of course.
It sort of depends on.
Just give us some basics.
I think the key is to remember to keep perspective, because every problem is not the end of the world, and may not be a major problem, and so you shouldn't look at it as such or treat it as such. And if you convince yourself that you're going to be in it for the long term, then you will be.
I love that answer. Ms. Robinson.
I believe you do have to keep God first in your relationships.
Speak on that.
You have to be patient.
Ooh, patience.
And you have to be understanding. Don't go to bed angry.
That's right.
Oh, that's very important. Unfortunately, I've been to bed angry a few times, but I woke up the next day in good spirits.
Wake up in the middle of the night and say, okay, I'm good.
And I'm sorry goes a long way.
It does. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry goes a long way. See, look at that. Some basic tips right there. All right, so do you all support Black-owned businesses in your community, Ms. Robinson?
I do support Black-owned businesses. I am a Black-owned business, and I, throughout my community, support Black-owned businesses.
All right, Mr. Walker.
I do. As I said, I was a partner in an African-American law firm for over 20 some odd years. Well, most of my career was spent in African-American law firms.
Okay.
I support Black businesses. My wife has a Black business that she runs part-time.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So you gotta. We know about Black businesses and restaurants. So what's your favorite Black-owned restaurant?
That's a good question.
I know there's so many, but We at least do at least 2 to 3. I know. It's hard to choose. It's okay. No restaurants? Or you just
No, I think we're just.
Yeah, I like to eat. So many places that I go to are black-owned businesses, restaurants, even if it's small, neighboring, even if it's a Harold's Chicken or
Okay.
places like that. So,
well, that's good to know that you have no problem going to Harold's Chicken because okay, no.
look, I grew up, which I know is not there now, but on 130 in Austin, that's where we used to hang out. Harold's over there. Okay.
The Rose and Roots is showing.
Roseland, yeah.
The
And then,
Rose and Roots is showing. All right.
and, the donuts shop right there.
Yes.
That's where my mom got her wedding cake. I'm dating myself. So whenever we're in the area, we have to get donuts, old-fashioned donuts, and get those freshly made donuts and bring them to my mom, and so.
Memories.
There's a restaurant called Flavor out in the south side.
Oh
yeah.
Flavors is good.
That's one.
Okay, all right. On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being very close, how close are you with your family? And this could be intermediate family, or your cousins.
5, I would say 10, but you said 1 to 5.
Yes.
Because my cousins are my cousin sister, my brother cousin, my sister cousin.
Yes.
Because they're my cousins. I grew up as an only child. My family is very close knit, and we think it's very important to support one another. And so.
All right.
As I said before, 5 plus.
5 plus. They did say 5. All right. Name top 3 things you do in your alone time.
I read. I pray. In my alone time, I do like to watch TV.
All right. What are some of your favorite shows right now with watching TV?
Okay. There's one of my favorite shows that I guess went off was This Is Us. That was my show.
I like that show.
Religiously. Watch that show. I also like reality shows. So I watch things
like Love and Hip Hop.
I don't watch Love and Hip Hop.
I'm
sorry with the millennials.
I'm so
sorry. I do watch. I watch like Claim to Fame, and Big Brother, things like that.
Okay. Mr. Walker.
3 things.
Yes, 3 things.
First would be hanging out with my wife.
Okay.
Watching Netflix.
Netflix and chill over here.
And photography.
Photography. Love it. All right. So, my next question is, how do you deal with conflict or someone who disagrees with you, Mr. Walker?
Well, I'm a judge, so I deal with people who disagree with me on a regular basis.
Clearly.
And so what I do is I listen to their perspective and their point of view. I try to explain to them why I think they're wrong.
Okay. You come with the facts?
Yes, and the law. And because I am the judge, I get to decide. So what I say, the answer is the answer.
What you say goes, basically. You heard that? That's the judge. All right, Ms. Roberts.
To deal with conflict, it's always important that people feel heard. So what I do is listen. That's very important when you're dealing with conflict. And I try to always take the other person's perspective in mind. I don't have to agree with them, but I would like to understand where they're coming from. So that's how I deal with conflict. calmly listen before you respond.
Love it, love it, love it. So what are some of your top personality traits?
I think that I am very kind and generous. When I see someone in need, it's part of my personality. I can't help to want to assist them. I'm also, I would say, I'm very busy. I say that I'm busy.
What woman isn't?
There you go. And when you see people in need, a lot of times, and they require things of you or need things of you, I'm willing to do that. And I will also say, you said 3 or 2?
No, just some. So if you have more, be our guest. Please share. Because we want to get to know you.
And I'm patient.
All good things. Mr. Walker?
Patient. I like to help people. I'm loyal. And I have integrity.
All very important things. Okay. So with that, because we know that you are both our judges or a candidate for judges, what are 3 social issues that you're most passionate about?
I am most passionate about our children. So all areas of children, their education. I'm passionate about making sure that our children have role models and that their community, they have things to do in the community. My goal is that I can connect with the young people and they can be able to see a role model in me, and I can connect them with other people who can be role models. My goal is whatever they want to be in life, they should be able to see somebody who looks like them doing that in life.
Absolutely.
So my passion is really the children, one social issue. Also, the gun violence or violence in particular, that's the issue because our neighborhoods need to be safe. Our kids need to be able to go outside, to go out to the park, and we don't worry about them getting shot. So that's an issue for me. And education, not just education for our young people, but for our adults. My husband is a pastor. I study the Bible, and one of the things the Bible says that we perish because of the lack of knowledge.
Yes, we do.
And we have to make sure that the people in our community have financial literacy, that they're able to achieve their goals, whatever it may lead. What's the path you need to take? I used to tell my children, my older kids, what is it that you want to do in life? What's the goal? What's the steps? What education do you need to get there? Who do you need to meet? What person can be your role model?
Mr. Walker?
Yeah, I would have to say I agree. I'm concerned about our youth, particularly our young black men, because they find themselves constantly in the throes of gun violence.
Absolutely.
And
in fatherless homes.
And fatherless homes, yeah. And I want them to be exposed to opportunities. And so one of the programs that I've started as a judge through the Illinois Judicial Council is I have an opportunity for young high school students to come and work with judges in chambers. So we call it the Illinois Judicial Council's High School Judicial Externship Program.
Nice.
And so every summer we take high school students in the city and the suburbs and we place them with judges, African-American judges on the bench, so they can see what judges do, because we believe you can't be what you can't see.
Absolutely.
And so we give them the opportunity to spend the summer working with judges in chambers, so they get to see what judges do. They can watch trials. They can see how judges make their decisions. They get to interact with the lawyers who come in their courtrooms. They get to interact with the lawyers who work on their staffs. And they have an opportunity to see what it's like to actually be a judge or to be a lawyer and to do what they do. See what they do.
I love it. I'm gonna definitely have to connect with you afterwards, because I have some students that need to see that are currently not going on the right path, but to experience it on the other side instead of being the one that is in front of the judge
Yeah.
is so vital. So I would definitely be connecting with you in regards to that. All right, so what are 3 personal values that you hold dear to yourself?
Honesty,
Okay.
that's very important. Work ethic is very important. If you say you're gonna do something, you need to do it. People need to count on you, and you need to be willing to work. And integrity, fairness, and equity. I know you said 3, but.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I would say loyalty, honesty, and patience.
They go that word patience again. I'm just curious to know how many of you all in the audience right now, how good of you all are with y'all patience on a scale of 1 to 5? Ooh, y'all should see the faces. Ooh. We got 3.5. We got 3. Somebody said 5. 1. You said 1? Oh, we need to practice with you, baby. We gotta practice with you. All right. Next question. Can you briefly explain, not only to those who are here, but also watching, why are you seeking your current position? Mr. Walker.
Yeah, well, that's a good question for me because I'm already a judge. And so people are wondering, well, why are you running for judge? I'm an associate judge. And as an associate judge, there's certain things that I can't do. I can't become the chief judge. I can't be a presiding judge. And I can't vote for other associate judges. And I can't vote for the chief judge. So if I become a full circuit judge, it would give me the opportunity to do that. The other part of it is I sit in the General Chancery Division and I get to hear all these interesting cases.
Okay.
There are certain things and certain kinds of cases that associate judges by rule are not allowed to do because we have a very incredible chief judge. He's sort of done away with that. But he may not always be the chief judge, and someone else coming in may see it differently. So in order to keep those opportunities from being taken away from me because someone else doesn't think associate judges ought to handle those kinds of cases,
okay,
the best way to keep that from happening is for me to become a full circuit court judge.
Love it, love it, love it.
I am running for judge because I recognize that we need people on the bench who are experienced, fair, and dedicated to real justice. What I hear when I talk to people and my clients that I've represented, a lot of times people are intimidated by the judge. They feel like they can't tell their story, or they feel like there's no reason for them because the judge has already made up his or her decision. I am running for judge to be the change that I want to see on the bench. Everybody in my courtroom will have a meaningful day in court, and we'll have an opportunity to be heard. They will be treated with dignity and respect. I've been in many courtrooms. I have not been in your courtroom, and I know that you are a fantastic judge. But I've been in many courtrooms where the judges would treat the litigants and the attorneys disrespectfully. And there's no reason for that. You can maintain order in your courtroom and still treat people with dignity and respect. That way, everyone has an opportunity to tell his or her story. In the end, as a judge, I may not always rule for you, but when you leave my courtroom, I want you to feel as if you had a meaningful day in court. You had the opportunity to share your story. I listened and considered, and I was fair. And that's why I'm running for judge, because I don't see enough of that on the bench. Although we do have some fantastic judges, I will be a great asset to the bench because I hold those qualities. Also, people need to see people on the bench who live in their community, who work in their community,
Absolutely.
who come to forums like this, even when they're not running for judge, that you see working in their community. And I've been working in my community for over 27 years. And I want to continue to serve my community as a judge. I believe that I can help more people by making sure that there's equity on the court than I can just even representing people. And I represent in the areas of not just criminal law, but family law, civil law, which could be breach of contract, employment discrimination. I had an opportunity to argue before the Illinois Appellate Court and the Illinois Supreme Court. And I know what it takes to be a judge, and I want to be your judge.
Love it, love it. I appreciate you all responses. So the next question on a scale to 1 to 5, or I'm not gonna do a scale 1 to 5. I want to know, how well do you manage stressful situations? Mr. Walker.
I think I managed them fairly well because I'm fairly laid back, and I'm patient, and I try to keep perspective. So if you can keep perspective, then it helps with stress.
It does.
Or people who are stressors. And so I try to keep perspective. I try to hear their side of their story and understand what it is that's causing them to be agitated. And I try to be a calming force because stress and hysterics and panic is all contagious. And so I believe in my courtroom, I'm in control of my courtroom and what happens there. And everything sort of flows from me. So if I can calm everybody down and keep everybody calm while we're going through the proceedings, then folks are going to be less stressed, even though standing in front of a judge is a stressful situation.
Yes, it is.
But if I can make you feel like you're comfortable and nothing bad is going to happen to you right now, then it will decrease the stress.
Ms. Robinson.
I think I handle stress pretty well. You have to be very calm. You have to listen. And a lot of times things are not always as bad as you think. So you have to do a reality check whenever you're in a stressful situation. So when you think of something and you think, okay, this is the worst thing, and then when you look at it, oh, it's not that bad. So in a stressful situation, I like to be calm, I like to breathe, I like to meditate, and I like to listen. And as a judge, I will help you through that stressful situation by letting you know that you have an opportunity to be heard. Because a lot of times people are stressed and they have anxiety because they're afraid about what the outcome could be or that they won't be able to get their point across. So as a judge, you have to have the judicial temperament. You have to be calm, you have to listen to each side and make a decision from there. And I think even in those stressful situations, it'll help people calm down and they'll be able to accept whatever the decision is, because whatever the decision is, they'll know how to go forth from there.
Thank you. Great answer. All right. So we're going to speed it up just a little bit, just a little lightning round. And we just want to know, and either one of you can go first. Are you calm or anxious?
Calm.
Anxious.
Really? Introvert or extrovert?
Campaigning extrovert, otherwise I'm an introvert.
I'm an introvert, but I like to be around where a lot of things are happening, so I'm in the background, just listening. But introvert.
Okay, so this is the next one. Lone wolf or social butterfly?
I'm a lone wolf.
Lone wolf.
Lone wolf. Morning person or night owl?
I'm a night owl, but I know how to get up in the morning.
I honestly believe that if God wanted man to see the sunrise, he would have put it later in the day. So, I'm pretty sure that makes me a night owl.
I mean, during certain times of the year, you know, that does happen, but. All right. Do you prefer exercise or Netflix?
Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix.
He said the Netflix and chill is real. Social media or privacy?
Privacy.
Privacy.
All right. Home cooked meal or takeout?
Home cooked meal.
Home cooked meal.
All right. So, what's your favorite home cooked meal?
Sure ribs of beef.
All the things that aren't good for you.
All the things that ain't good for you. Okay, I understand. So wait, do either of you cook at home or you cook at home, Mister?
I eat at home. I eat. My husband does a wonderful job cooking, and my daughter too. So I eat.
Okay.
Yeah, I eat.
All right. And do you have any special talents or hidden skills that you would like to share?
So it may not be a talent, but I think I can dance, and I dance around the house all the time. Have done it since I was a child, and I love it. So
I mean, dancing is a great exercise. I definitely dance by myself quite often.
I think I'm a pretty good photographer.
Pretty good photographer. Okay. What are some of your favorite things that you like to take a portrait of?
I like architecture, but also I shoot all kinds of things. So.
And this is the final question. And then I'll have you all close with your remarks. What's your biggest fear? Either of you.
my biggest fear is that my biggest fear surrounds my children, my girls.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna make it a little bit more personal. I just wanna make sure that I'm an example to them because our children, they do mimic our behavior
Yes, they do.
as parents. And my biggest fear is that I'm not living up to the standard I need to for my children. So that's why I try extremely hard. If I may, I have ran for judge before and I'm running again. And I like to tell people the reason why I'm running again is not only because I want to be a judge, it's because I have two young ladies who live in my house who I want them to see no matter what happens, don't give up on your dream.
Absolutely.
Continue to strive for whatever you want. Find a way to make it better. And my biggest fear is that I fail them.
I love that response.
I think, like the panel before, I have a concern about our democracy because I do think that it is in jeopardy.
Okay.
But I also have a fear about our young brothers who are not getting the opportunities they should be getting. They're not being viewed in the way that they should be viewed. And I'm concerned that that will continue. And they're not getting the opportunities to be the examples in our community that they need to be and the protectors of our communities that they need to be. And that's an additional fear that I have.
Okay, I greatly appreciate that. I kind of want to ask this other question related to the current migrants that I currently hear in Chicago, but is that crossing the line, Ms. Meredith? Well, I just want to make sure.
I would like them to answer if they can answer.
You know, I get my counsel right now, so but anyway. How do you all feel about the current migrant situation, not only here in Chicago, but what's happening across the world? I would just focus on Chicago. I ain't gonna worry about the world right now.
Well, I'll answer that this way. I think that the way the circumstance is currently being handled, it creates lots of questions, lots of concerns.
Absolutely.
Because you have folks who live here and have been homeless for a long time. And now we have a new influx of folks who are also homeless and need jobs. And so the circumstance is creating these these tensions. Our cities and our communities are ill prepared for this massive influx of folks. And it's stressing a lot of people out because they have lots of concerns about what's going to happen as a consequence.
Absolutely.
And nobody really has an answer. And so it is an existential problem that we are going to have to deal with. And I'm not really sure that there's any one person or group of persons who has a suitable answer.
Okay, Ms. Robinson.
I would echo that, and first I want to also applaud Judge Walker and the way he answered that, because we have to be very careful in answering questions like that, because the issue may come before us. But I certainly agree with him, and I believe that it's a matter of we need money, not just for the immigrants that's coming in, but to take care of the people that's been here all along.
Thank you, I greatly appreciate that. Either of you can start with your closing remarks, not only to those that are here, but those who are watching and who will watch this later on, because I will be doing an email blast and promote on social media.
Hello again, my name is Chelsea R. Robinson, and I'm running for Cook County Circuit Court Judge. I have 27 years of experience, civil and criminal litigation. That means that on a day-to-day basis, I am in the courtroom representing litigants on their issues. When I say criminal cases, I have done small cases as small as a traffic matter. I have done large cases, tense cases, as large as a murder case, a rape case. I have done jury trials and bench trials. I've also practiced in the areas I stated in civil litigation, which includes family law, which includes breach of contract, which includes employment discrimination. Have argued before the Illinois Supreme Court, the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals, and the Illinois Appellate Court. So I'm experienced, I'm fair. I understand that we have to have judges on the bench who treat people with dignity and respect and give you a meaningful day in court. Not someone who judges you by the color of your skin, your nationality, the place where you grew up, your family relations, but someone who would take the time to listen to you and make a fair decision. Keep me in mind, Chelsea Bernice Robinson. I'm running for Cook County Circuit Court Judge. My punch number is 142. I've worked in the community for many years, and I want to continue to work as your next circuit court judge. And if I may, we have a couple of other judges, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
That couldn't be here today. A couple of other people who are also running for judge. Wendy Williams, her information is out there. We also have Lori Roper, her information is out there, and Ashanta Rice.
Give me punch numbers.
Her information is out there. I do not know their punch numbers. I am so sorry. I do not know their punch numbers, but I do have some information about them out there. They've all been practicing for over 20 years. Ashante practices in the area dealing with our children. Lori has, been practicing for 29 years, and she's a public defender. And then we also have Wendy Williams, who's also been practicing for over 27 years. I'm giving you these names because a lot of times when you go to the ballot and it comes to our judges, number one, you've never seen them. You haven't heard these names before. You haven't had an opportunity to research these names, and either you skip them or you just any, mighty, mo. So I want you to have information about myself and the names of these other judges, so other candidates for judges. So when you go to the ballot, you can be well informed. And as the previous justices stated and judges stated, we want to make sure that we vote for our judges. We want to make sure that we vote on March 19th. Early voting starts on March 4th. Thank you.
Mr. Walker.
I'm Judge Alan Price Walker. I'm running for judge of the 15th Sub-Circuit. I've been a judge, as I've said, for 11 years. I currently sit in the General Chancery Division. The one thing I would like to say that I haven't said already is this. There are lots of politicians, and we go out and we vote for the president, and we vote for our congresspeople, and we go out and we vote for our local politicians. And then the judges, we're not really sure about. Sometimes we don't even vote for judges. And in off elections, when judges are running, we don't go out and vote. But here's something that a friend of mine who's a judge said the other day, and it really struck me, and that is this. The president, the governor, the legislators, the laws that they pass, they cannot do unless they get a majority of the folks, legislators, to vote with them. The legislation gets written by the congresspeople or the legislators, and they give it to either the president or the governor, and they have to sign. And if they don't like what the law that the president or the governor signed, they can veto it.
Okay.
Most of us will never come in contact with those folks, but most of us will come in contact with a judge. And as a judge, I don't need anybody else. I can impact your life directly with the stroke of a pen, and I don't have to ask anybody else. I don't have to consult with anybody else. I don't have to get anybody else to vote on it. I just have to sign the order, and it's done. As my buddy Judge Lloyd Brooks said yesterday, if that individual has that much power, then you need to know who they are, and you need to vote for them, and you need to choose. So I'm asking all of you, particularly those who live in the 15th Sub-Circuit, to vote on March 19th. Early voting starts March 4th. I'm asking you to vote early, or if you don't vote early, come out and vote on March 19th. And I want you to punch 162 for Alan Price Walker. And I also want you to vote for the other judges who were here earlier today as well, because judges are important and they can impact your lives directly, very quickly. And as I said the other day, even though you may not appear in my courtroom, there are decisions that I make every day that may impact your life. And even though you are not a party to the litigation, I have cases in front of me that deal with municipalities and other governmental entities, and the decisions that I make can impact your life even though you are not there. So judges are important, and voting for them are important. So I'm asking you to come out and vote on March 4th and on March 19th. And if you live in the 15th Sub-Circuit, I want you to vote for me, Alan Price Walker, 162. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you all.